Hello and welcome to Famous Gays and Lesbians, alleged and otherwise. I'm your host, Thomas Connolly. I happen to be a gay actor and I live in the gayest city of them all, West Hollywood, California. Now, today's episode deals with two of my favorite performers, the incomparable Liza Minnelli and the fabulous Fran Drescher. Now, the big question is, what do these two women have in common? I don't hear you. Okay, I'll tell you. They both married gay men. And one of them, I don't want to mention any names, Liza Minnelli, multiple times. Okay, we'll start with the saga of Liza with a Z and her first marriage to the wonderful Peter Allen. Now, this gets a little sticky because Peter Allen, previous to marrying Liza, dated her mother, Judy Garland. I guess it's all in the family. One big dysfunctional happy family. Peter Allen married Liza Minnelli on March 3rd, 1967, when Liza was only 20 years old. Now, Liza wasn't the big superstar back then that we know now. Peter Allen was the bigger star back then. I hope younger people get to know Peter Allen because he had such an enormous talent. He was known for his flamboyant stage persona, boundless energy, and lavish costumes. He made Liberace look like a deadbeat. Now, in a 6 degrees separation kind of thing, I actually worked backstage at one of his last performances in the 1990s. He put on one of the gayest, most entertaining, wildest shows I had ever seen. We're talking showgirl high kicks, dancing on grand pianos, sequins galore, boas, feathers, cleavage, you name it. This guy was the ultimate entertainer. He peppered all this with great singing and humorous anecdotes. He won the Academy Award for co-writing the song Arthur's Theme. My favorite song that he wrote was I Honestly Love You, sung by the impeccable Olivia Newton-John. Now, Liza was with Peter Allen just under 2 years. They separated in 1969, and then they legally divorced in 1974. It wasn't until the mid-70s that Peter Allen officially came out as a gay man, along with his handsome model boyfriend, Gregory Connell. Peter Allen was only 48 years old when he passed away on June 18th, 1992. There's a fabulous Broadway show all about his life called The Boy from Oz. It starred Hugh Jackman, who won a Tony Award for the performance. I gotta tell you, Hugh Jackman was pretty convincing as a gay man. But hey, Liza was just a kid when she married Peter Allen. Liza Minnelli, incidentally, was raised by a loving, caring, devoted father, Vincent Minnelli, who was a gay man as well. Now, Liza Minnelli went on to marry 4 more times, and it's rumored that her 4th husband, David Guest, was gay as well. After a brief turbulent marriage of 16 months, they had a very contentious, litigious, nasty divorce. Liza accused him of stealing her money, and David Guest accused her of extreme physical abuse, fueled by her alcoholic outbursts. David Guest claimed that Liza hit him so hard that he had years and years of migraine headaches following their breakup. Liza was then considered for a lead role in Rocky IX, but lost out to a holograph of Joan Crawford. But the best part was the wedding day of Liza Minnelli and David Guest. It was a multi-million-dollar affair, and Liza later said she had no idea she was footing the bill for all of it. Over 1,000 people attended the ceremony, and David Guest's best man was the one and only Michael Jackson. And Liza Minnelli's maid of honor was the queen herself, Miss Elizabeth Taylor, who reportedly snored right up there on the altar during the sacred nuptials. I'm not making that up. Elizabeth Taylor really did fall asleep. That was a bad omen for their marriage. But hey, live and learn, right, Liza? Now, in my opinion, Liza is one of the greatest entertainers of all time. And if you don't believe me, Google her version of New York, New York at Radio City Music Hall, and you'll see why. Okay, moving on. Next up, we have the very talented and so likable Fran Drescher. Who didn't love her show, The Nanny? She had that unmistakable voice and accent, but hey, her outfits were the real star of the show. Take a look at some of these great numbers. Fran Drescher in real life is a beacon of positivity. She had a difficult bout with uterine cancer, and she chronicled all this in her book, Cancer Schmancer, which wound up helping countless other men and women with their own cancer journeys. But hey, she didn't stop there. Fran Drescher lobbied in Washington, D.C. for the passage of cancer patient rights, which led to H.R. 1245, known as Johanna's Law, which is all about early cancer detection rights for stage 1 level cancer patients. Fran Drescher is a natural born leader. Recently, she became president of the Screen Actors Guild, SAG. Fran, I voted for you. Fran is really an empathetic person who leads for everyone's rights, not just a select few. Okay, well, back to her personal life. Fran Drescher wound up marrying her high school sweetheart, actor, writer, producer Peter Jacobson in 1978. Fran was only 21 years old when she got married. They then both moved out to Hollywood to make it in show business. Rather than just sit around and commiserate about not finding acting jobs, they both created The Nanny and sold it to CBS in 1993. It was a big ratings hit for CBS, and it ran for 6 seasons. As producers of The Nanny, they made the big bucks when it went into reruns and syndication. Her husband, Peter Jacobson, after years of psychotherapy, came out as a gay man in the mid-1990s, and they ultimately divorced in 1999. Once again, Fran Drescher was upbeat and positive, even about her divorce. She was quoted as saying that she needed a new direction in life, and she had to learn what her role was in marrying a gay man. She remained very close to Peter after the divorce, and they even created a new series called Happily Divorced for TV Land, which ran for 24 episodes. Fran Drescher is a huge advocate for LGBTQ rights, and she even became an ordained minister through the Universal Life Church in order to marry gay couples. Interestingly enough, Peter introduced Fran to her next husband, Shiva Ayadurai, who Fran married in 2014 in Malibu. Fran Drescher and Peter Jacobson show us that divorce does not have to be a hideous, contentious, ugly situation. Well, that's about it for this episode. This is Thomas Connolly for Famous Gays and Lesbians, alleged and otherwise. If you like what you see, could you please like and subscribe? That would really help sustain our show. Until next time, bye-bye.